All right, everybody, Allegra here. I'm going to do a quick tour of our Pacific Northwest garden here at the end of August. I want to do a tour of the homestead in a couple of weeks, but for now I'm just going to stick with the garden and show you how things are going. I'm going to get up on this stump here because it's a good central location. I'll just do a panorama of the yard and garden. It was very productive. I'm very grateful. As many of you know, this year started out very slow. It was a really cold spring, but things started catching up in June. So I'll show you in more detail a little bit closer, but I've had major production of flowers, cabbage, squash, peppers, tomatoes, and as you can see down here, basil. Let's start there. I'm not going to be able to show you everything in this video because it will be too long, but check out the basil. I started them all in pots and then I put them in the ground because they were all getting very anemic. They needed nitrogen, and I added a layer of rabbit manure to the top and they just thrived. So I'm letting a lot of these go to seed now, but I'm still harvesting some, and I have my coriander here that's going to seed. It's a fun little sunflower there. If you follow me on Instagram, I have some other really kind of cool close-up stuff of the garden and my art and everything. Got this not wild pumpkin, but a pumpkin going wild. It's going to be going over this little trellis here. Cucumbers are going to be going over this trellis. Pardon my congestion. I have a cold. I'm letting these green beans go to seed so I can collect those. So I'm done harvesting this round here. And look at these quinoa. My pretentious quinoa. They're beautiful. I'm seriously going to grow these every year. You can also eat the leaves. The leaves are edible. They kind of remind me a little bit of spinach. So I've been making salads out of those. And they will be changing color. Let's see, they're starting to turn a scarlet, as you can see there. So I will be able to harvest those probably in September. All right, let's go over to this trellis, and underneath it, as you can see, I've got cucumbers. I left that big one on the ground there, but I need to go through and harvest some of these. I love those full dwarf sunflowers. There's another one about to bloom there. Back here is my wild jungle. I've interplanted a lot of things. You can see nasturtiums, broccoli, arugula. This arugula here is super, my hands, look at that. My hands are so beat up. Super bitter and spicy, really good. Beets. Got some herbs back there, more broccoli. Here, let's check out this one. That's pretty cool. I'm going to eat that tonight. Pretty nice. Got my parsnip forest back here. I've harvested a bunch of carrots back in there. As you can see, this pole bean TP. No beans yet. I planted those later on so I could have succession planting. Let's go down this way. I had a ton of cabbage. So let me tell you all, I did get cabbage wormed. What I mean here, look, I'm going to show you an example. Cabbage worms, this is probably slug damage, but you can see these are cabbage worms. So when I saw that, I went ahead and sprayed everything, all the leaves, especially on the heads and everything, with a product called BT, and I can't remember exactly what it stands for, but it is organic. It just makes it so that the worm, the cabbage worm, from the moth that lays the egg on the cabbage, it stops eating. So I essentially starve to death. Don't love that, but I worked very hard for this, and I've harvested it totally saved many heads of cabbage. Next year, lesson learned, I will start by doing a floating row cover so that those they're like little white butterflies, don't land and lay their eggs on the leaves. So I've got some zinnia over here. They're just gorgeous and they are awesome in bouquets. And when I do my homesteading video in a couple weeks, Here, let me go over here. I will share with you our farm stand. My dahlias, roses, zinnias, gladiolas have been doing great, and I've been selling lots and lots of bouquets. So it's been good. And even my sunflowers are making it. I did not think they were gonna do well, but they are about 10 feet right now, so that's good. They should be blooming here in about a week or so. Like I mentioned before, I interplant as much as possible because it's, you know, companion planting. If you look it up and you're interested in gardening and you find what complements each other in a garden, for example, planting beans and sunflowers and squash together, they work out well together. So there's many other plant combinations that work well, and then there's plant combinations that don't work well. So yeah, look into that if you're interested. I wasn't much of a help with that. I just kind of made a blanket statement there. Look at that poppy, isn't that cool? And these potatoes are about ready to harvest. As a matter of fact, there's a row there that I'm starting to dig into. The leaves, once the leaves yellow and kind of die back after they've bloomed, they're about ready to harvest. So I'm going to give them probably another week or so. So yeah, around here, let's go around here. Outside of the garden, I'm looking forward to removing this retaining wall right there because that will be filled with potatoes. I had to kind of build dirt up around them and then build that wall. So here is my squash area, and we've got tons of squash going. Patty pans, zucchini, yellow squash, like the summer squash, pumpkins that are just going crazy. Let's see, got a lot of little babies. So it's the end of August. See that little baby right there? Got a lot of those all over. We got the pepper house here. Was a hard year. Got some eggplant. I had a like 3-inch long eggplant there, and a slug got it. Hey bumblebee, you gotta get out. Go ahead and pollinate my stuff though. Here, look. Is some jalapeno action going on. That's nice. And I got some Anaheim pepper here. So good deal. I also have a chipmunk coming in here, but next year we will have a full big greenhouse there, so I should have better luck with the peppers. Okay everybody, I am gonna head back up and do some more work. I just wanted to do a quick garden video. I will be back with another video of the homestead in a couple weeks, and I hope you enjoyed this Pacific Northwest August 2020 garden quick tour. All right, have a good one.